Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are here with more of The Expanse. This is Season 2, Episode 5. And yeah, I know Episode 4 and 5 were meant to be watched together. It's close enough. I watched Episode 4 last night and I was just too tired after recording the commentary, and so I'm doing Episode 5 right now. It's the next morning, and yeah, the Eros just yoinked itself out of the way of the Navoo, and I have to guess that it's capable of just heading wherever it wants. So if its intended goal is to destroy Earth or destroy human life, then yeah, it's perfectly capable of doing that. And it'll be interesting to see how everybody is capable of trying to stop it. I don't know what they would be able to do to... yeah, I have no idea. It'll be really interesting to find out. But yeah, if you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. And we're going to get started. Let's go.
Eros is what, 7,000 trillion kilos, give or take? Its temperature's gone up 2 degrees.
Yeah, it's putting out 7,000 kilos.
Around 10 exajoules.
Yeah.
That's the energy of a 2 gigaton bomb.
You couldn't move Eros like that with a 2 gigaton blast. Oh, shit.
Alex?
What now?
That damn rock. It's speeding up. Snap heck of a hurry to get somewhere.
Eros is some kind of weapon system unlike anything we've seen.
Oh, yes, a weapon. A hammer thinks everything is a nail. I assume built by Mars.
Who else? They provoke a conventional war as a smokescreen.
What's happening?
Eros has changed trajectory again, and it's accelerating.
Towards Earth?
It's now on a direct collision course with Earth.
Oh. Could they actually destroy Earth in the middle of Season 2? That would be ridiculous, right?
Julie Mao. You call yourself a man of the system, but I'm not. Earth is my home. So whenever you're ready, I'd really appreciate it if you make a fucking appearance and rein in your goddamn science experiment!
I have a terrible idea. If Miller can get in there close with that warhead, he could kill it. Stop Eros in its tracks.
Crawl in there and blow up the thing that ate Julie.
I think it's the best bad idea I've heard all day.
Best bad idea.
We need to figure out that dead man's switch.
I'm gonna take my pet nuke for a walk.
Pet nuke.
What's what?
You do realize that docking with Eros ain't gonna be a cakewalk, right? That's a moving target.
Can you throw him a rope and have him hold on? I don't know.
In all your years, did you imagine you'd see a moment like this?
Yes. Who's to say Eros can't just dodge these missiles?
What was that? Naomi, I didn't catch you.
Miller, I
that wasn't
didn't say
her.
anything.
Was it Julie? Oh, and then they're gonna, after using so much of their arsenal, Mars can launch a strike.
Guys, what's going on out there?
Someone...
What the hell up now?
Where's Eros?
I can't find it.
Hold it.
What?
Lost radar lock on Eros. The whole damn station just vanished.
Is learning fast.
Eros vanished off radar. It's gone stealth.
Who's gonna explain that to me?
Our missile.
My technicians would need to steer the missiles in. I understand the gravity of the request, but need a response before the window of opportunity closes.
He can redirect our missiles at Mars or Earth.
It's just the guidance systems. We still have our abort codes.
Doing good. Think happy thoughts.
Madam Abasarala, I'm James Holden, captain of the Rocinante. Brett Johnson is honorable. Give him access to your missiles and my crew and I will guide them in.
What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls the butterfly.
Well, if that makes you the most powerful man in the system right now.
Oh, really? And go get me a cup of coffee.
What is this?
I think I'm getting close to the hot zone in Naomi's.
Excuse me?
Seed crystal.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Amos is smiling in this situation.
All right, Chaser cut bait.
Chase.
Strap in, prep to max speed.
You got it.
Haven't seen this for a while.
It will auto-lock on Eros for the missiles. Survivability of the crew is questionable beyond this point.
They're going to stay with Eros, even if it kills them.
Yeah.
The Secretary General and most of the others are already gone.
She's not going.
One more minute. I know it hasn't even been easy. I know that, and I'm sorry.
Stop it. Stop. You never have to apologize to me.
Sorry. Just know I want to be there with you.
Why did I marry such a great woman?
You got very lucky, didn't you?
Gotta be close now.
The hand, right?
So far, the station hasn't considered you a threat. Just keep it that way.
Why wouldn't they consider it a threat?
Can't take the razor back.
Julie. Oh, crap.
Sorry about this, guys.
Gotcha. Naomi's heat map.
You know where it's leading us? It's leading us right back to the Blue Falcon.
Where we found Julie?
I mean, what are the chances, right?
These voices are getting louder.
What if she infected the proto-molecule bank?
I think she's controlling this whole thing.
She's the seed crystal.
Miller, what the hell's happening down there? Alex, tap the brakes, but do not lose visual.
Jesus Christ. Back off now. Find a way to divert those missiles.
And then what? What?
I'll try to reach Julie. If there's any part of her still left, you get her to stop this rock.
You're gonna negotiate with a girl who thinks she's a space station?
Well, you put it like that, it does sound kind of crazy.
Long story, no time for details, but I'm the one with the boots on the ground. Right now, it's imperative you divert Earth's missiles away from Eros.
The UN's gonna think we're stealing their missiles. Like this whole thing is a ploy. Tell me you know what you're doing, you little shit.
We've got guidance control. I'll take them on a long ride.
Julie's the center of all this. The bird. Oh, the one outside her window. Was she leading him to her?
Julie?
Whoa. Holy crap.
You need to come back to me now.
What happened to me? I don't like it.
Hey, we never really officially met. I'm Miller.
They left me here all alone. They never came for me.
Listen, Julie, right now, this station, this rock is headed for Earth real fast. But you're driving this bus. Julie, do you know that?
I miss Earth.
I know, kid. We can't go to Earth. A lot of good people are gonna die if we go there. Why don't we go to Venus? We're headed that way anyway. Go to Venus. Work continues.
I don't think I can.
Because I believe in you. You need a guy like me. You believe in something. I know you're a fighter. I know. You can steer this ship.
We can go anywhere else in the whole universe, but we can't go home, buddy. Okay? Lee, whatever happens, wherever you go, you're not gonna do it alone.
What happens to us now?
We die, maybe. Or if we don't die, that'll be interesting. Whatever happens, happens to both of us. It's gonna be okay.
You belong with me.
They pointed at him where his seat would be. It was so small. Oh. Oh man. We might die. But if we don't, that'll be interesting too. Could they somehow survive down there? Wow, that was just beautiful, gorgeous. That could have been a series finale, honestly, but there's also going to be a lot of stuff going on. I thought the most ballsy thing they could do was to actually nuke Earth, but storytelling-wise, I think this might have been better. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was amazing. I don't know if you can tell, I'm actually like on the verge of tears right now. That was wonderful. That was just a beautiful episode, and so aptly named, Home. Like, Julie just wanted to go home in the end, and we'll get to that ending soon, I guess. But first, just the heroics of everybody involved. Miller dragging that nuke all the way with him. And he had so many close calls. He dropped that thing like 5 times. But yeah, it looked heavy as hell. Ava Zarala, Christian, staying on Earth because it's her home. And either she succeeds in defending it or she dies. Her conversation with her husband. He's a good guy, right? You never have to say sorry to me. You never have to apologize to me. That was really well done. The crew of the Rocinante risking their lives to paint the target on Eros, going through so much pain. Amos was just like, oh, there goes my spleen. And I'm just like, how do you... He must have been through a lot before in his life, because if my spleen was hurting, I wouldn't be able to tell. I was like, something's hurting, but I don't know. So it's possible he's had a spleen injury before or something, or just had lots of injuries before. Yeah, when they kind of like powered down and they kind of like breathe their sigh of like it's relief. That was really compelling. And yeah, it was honestly really difficult to watch the crew of the Rossi and Miller find Julie at near the end of last season. Because I wanted to see so much more of this kick-butt woman who did what was hard because it was right. And at the end of this episode, we got to see just a little bit more of her. I guess we're saying goodbye to her and Miller, though. I theorized that Julie might be alive in there somehow because at the end of last season, the proto-molecule like presented a human form in front of Kenzo. But I didn't expect this. I didn't think she'd be so special as to be actually like the center, the seed crystal of the whole damn station. But yeah, it was so interesting to see her and Miller, that conversation. she just didn't want to be alone anymore. I feel like no one came to help her at the Blue Falcon until it was too late, and she just didn't want to be alone. I think the reason she wanted to go home was to be with her family, even though she hated them, because she thought at least that she wouldn't be alone. They would be there for her. And I guess what's so tragic is that Jules Pierre Mao he loved her, but he was just like, this is a sacrifice that needed to be made. Like, she needed to die for us to have this protomolecule in our hands. And I think that's why Miller showing up and telling her she's not alone, staying with her, that must have meant so much to her. And I think if he didn't stay with, I mean, he was always going to stay with her no matter what. He was not going to leave her. But if he hadn't stayed with her, I don't think she would have diverted Venus. Because that feeling of home, that feeling of belonging, that feeling of being with somebody, she said, we belong together, you belong with me. I feel like if she doesn't feel that, she's not okay going to Venus. And this is such a powerful episode. I was almost in tears at the end. But yeah, he was the last person she was ever going to see, and after a lifetime of her family doing the wrong thing, being abandoned by the family she chose, there was someone there who would stay with her till the end. And there was a moment when Miller was trying to reach Julie, trying to get her to change directions, and the nuke started beeping again, and he hesitated, like unsure if he should just let everything blow. But again, like ever since nearly the beginning of the series, he chose to believe in Julie. It's just so beautifully written, honestly. And like, this is a great ending. I mean, it's not a happy ending for, I don't know if I can argue that it's a happy ending for either of them, but it's a great ending for their stories. Like, he kind of treated people like crap to keep them at a distance, but we slowly learned that it was because he didn't feel like he was good enough. He was good for them, not good enough. He didn't feel like he was good for them. Like with Olivia Moss. It's been a while since we've seen her, so I forgot. He's willing to just put his life. He's always looking for a fight in the wrong places. So yeah, it's just so compelling that he's finally found a place where he belonged. And to have that validated by Julie Mao, the person that he's been trying to help, who he said he was in love with, and oh man, I don't even know. It's just so validating. This whole journey towards the center of this, or not this, I don't know if it's the center, but towards Julie, it must have been so validating for him to find a place where he really belonged. Because even on the Rocinante, he butted heads with Amos and then butted heads with Holden, and I don't know that he ever truly belonged, but in that moment he did, right? Which is just amazing. And yeah, we've learned in this episode we learned so much about the lore of the protomolecule, or just not even the lore, just like what it's capable of. So I feel like its story definitely isn't done yet. We still have that one piece, Naomi, hidden in an asteroid field, and I have to assume there's more outside of the solar system. And we learned it doesn't go after dead people. I probably would have guessed that, but we have confirmation now. And yeah, it's capable of changing and evolving so much. I'm actually very curious about what else it's capable of doing. I mean, because this is fiction. If it was real, I'd be like, destroy that and like, I don't want to find out. But because it's fiction, I'm just like, I'm very curious what it can do. My thing is, this is episode 5 of the season. This could have been a season finale. I wouldn't even complain that much if it was a series finale, because there are still some things that need to be wrapped up, but it's just so... It was such a wonderful conclusion to so many character arcs. So satisfying. And yeah, there's obviously a lot more to explore, but just the emotional weight of this episode, just... At the same time, I can't wait to see what happens next. Like, we haven't seen Gunny the last 2 episodes. She's presumably off defending crops on Ganymede? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. They also mentioned Ganymede again at some point during this episode, but I forget why. And yeah, if I was in charge and I had a soldier who wanted war and our our planet as a whole didn't want war, I'd send her on a job like that. But now Mars is in a situation where Earth just used half its missiles. I don't know if after you launch them, you can like bring them back. Missiles are probably designed to like launch and fire and explode. They're not launched to like restock because they're meant to explode. So Drummer took them for a ride, which was, I really like Drummer's character as well. She's very charming, and I love her mannerisms and the way she talks to Fred. Just fun. And she's like, she's unapologetically excited for things like back a few episodes ago. She was just like, oh, like you almost died. Like if that shot hit the Rocinante over here, you'd all be dead. And she was just, yeah, she's a very likable character. What was I saying? I don't know how I got on this side tangent, but yeah, right. So the missiles, like, does Mars kind of splinter into two factions now that it's going to be even easier to take over Earth or destroy Earth if they want to? Maybe one faction wants diplomacy and the other one wants war. I could see Bobby becoming the leader for that second faction, possibly. And then Christian might actually ally with Ehrenreich at this point to try and take down Julie Mao. Ehrenreich has no love for Julie Mao anymore. I guess he might still need him to cover his own butt, but not entirely sure. But yeah, Jules Mao, it doesn't feel like he's going to be taken care of anytime soon. He probably has enough resources to outrun the entire system if he wanted to. He's got stealth ships. He could find, what's it called? Sanctuary on Mars if people on Mars don't know what he did. Yeah, I don't think that Earth could extradite him from Mars if he did that. Fred Johnson's in quite a bit of trouble. Like, he wound up taking control of missiles that wound up not even being used. The Nauvoo is just gone off into space somewhere. Unless he's somehow partially credited for stopping Eros from crashing to Earth. That could be possible. He could be, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the politics work after this episode. If the OPA is like granted some kind of clemency for their transgressions, if they get better treatment, I don't know. It feels like a moment like this has to make people like work together a little bit more, right? But I don't know. The crew of the Rocinante, I don't know if they'll be hailed as heroes. I don't know what their next adventure is going to be. Maybe communicating with Christian and going after Julie Mao. So many little tiny details, though, that I loved about this episode. Like the sight of seeing the US launch so many missiles into space. It was beautiful and yet absolutely terrifying, but yeah, beautiful. The UN director, I forgot his title, but the leader of the UN, that line, what a caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls a butterfly. Wow. And then the proto-molecule bird. And that has to be Julie's subconscious, right? Like, the reason the protomolecule didn't attack Miller was because her subconscious was in there and didn't see him as a threat, knew why he was coming, to, like, understood his feelings toward Julie, right? And then at the end, everybody drinking to Miller. And I was wondering, like, this aired on the Sci-Fi Channel, right? Do they have commercials there? I don't watch TV, so I don't know. But I'm wondering if right after the episode they air like a beer commercial, like, it's Miller time. Okay. And yeah, so many other little things, like Amos doing the math in his head, and then Naomi just like figuring it out like it's nothing. She's an engineer, but like Amos is capable of figuring it out eventually as well. Drummer flipping Fred the Belter bird, I'm assuming that's what it was, when he told her to get him coffee. Diogo getting his OPA tat, and God, like, his story is going to feel like super important. Like, not only was he saved by Miller, but then Miller went on to save Earth and billions of people. And I feel like a lot of people might not ever find out about it, depending on what the government feels like telling them, but Diogo was going to spread the hell out of that legend, right? And that line I mentioned at the end, before I edited, like, what happens to us now? Maybe we die, and maybe not, but we'll, like, either way it'll be interesting. I'm misremembering the line, but you know what it is. And Is he still? Are they still alive on Venus? And if they are, like, we don't know what the protomolecule is really capable of. Like, the fact that it was able to, like, after Julie's body died, her subconsciousness lived on. Like, imagine if it is capable of creating life on Venus, and then it adds a fourth faction to the solar system. That'd be incredible. Yeah, this whole episode was just mind-boggling, right? I'm gonna give it a 9.5, and your guys are like, not a 10? Are you crazy? I don't think we're there quite yet. I teared up, but I wasn't like full on sobbing, and I don't know, it was super satisfying, but I feel like, I don't know. It's that close to a 10 though. It really is. And there's so much stuff that's still gonna happen. I'm sure we'll get there soon. But yeah, if you want to watch the full reaction, you can check out Patreon in the link in the description below. And yeah, leave a like, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, friends.